I am so proud of all the bands coming out of this little city. I'm so grateful that I was part of that era and the fun we had growing up and playing this music. I am so proud of all the bands coming out of this little city, because we were not that many doing what we did back then, you know. But it's hard keeping track on what's going on right now with the younger bands coming up, but there probably are tons of them. It was a special time because you were either in a band or you were a fan really close to the bands. We all hung out and there were shows going on every other weekend, and if you were not playing, you were helping out in the, you know, security or selling beers or fucking wardrobe or whatever, you know. It's like you did everything. It was all a small community. The big world couldn't come in, you know. It was very tight. Yeah. We never band that stand still. We always want to push the latest thing, you know. But then we know that there are fans out there that want to hear older stuff, so we try to incorporate that. And then we have some other favorites that we know people want to hear. So I mean, it is. I mean, obviously it's difficult to satisfy each and everyone, you know. But we're doing a pretty good job on this tour. We go back all the way to '98, do stuff from Colony all the way up to the most recent one, Siren Charms. So yeah, I hope one day we could, you know, have one song from each album. It might happen someday. In general, I mean, the history of the studio is phenomenal, you know. Like Bowie recorded his trilogy over there. You have Iggy Pop. I mean, he and David were there pretty much at the same time. And for me, when I was, you know, when I was 10 years old, I always been into metal and shit, but I've always been a fan of Depeche Mode, right? And they mixed their album Construction Time Again, which was the first Depeche Mode album that I heard, in Hansa Studio. And the very console they mixed on is still standing there, right there. So we had to record through it, you know. So that was a great experience. But I was in Hansa a year prior to our recording, and just there as a visit because I'm like a music nerd, a fan, you know. And as soon as I walked in, I felt the atmosphere, and I called up the other guys in the band, and you know, this is the place where we should record. I hope the city, the studio, the vibe itself would give something to the recording, and I really think it did in the end, you know, even though some of the other guys didn't really believe it at first, I think, because, you know, just go into a studio, plug in your guitar and play, you can do that anywhere. But being in Berlin, late November, when it's dark and moody, and with the history of the city itself, something happened to the music, you know. It's a great experience, and not just all the legendary albums that have been recorded there. It's the studio itself sounds amazing. You know, the drum room, it's a mix of marble and wood. Just put in a bass drum and a mic in front of it, and you don't barely have to EQ. It's just sounds so fucking good. Hi, this is Anders from In Flames. Subscribe to Louder Noise.